At last, a general has come out and made it clear that all those talking heads and paid general know nothing of what they speaketh. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
It strikes me that if you consider the political constraints that President Biden has imposed on himself, his core belief that it's wrong to send service members into a potentially deadly situation that doesn't enhance core U.S. security, and then you've got the Taliban's overwhelming leverage in Afghanistan right now, the president really had no other option but to stick to his initial self-imposed deadline.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. And I think one of the most interesting exercises as we've been covering this crisis over the last 2 weeks has been for me to go back and look at my own notes in covering President and before that Vice President Biden over the years on this particular issue. And in fact, the last time I traveled overseas with Vice President Biden in 2016, it was to Iraq. And what I saw on that trip was something that was also the case on just about every foreign trip that the vice president would make, was he spent as much time talking to the elected leadership of, in that case, Iraq, of our own leadership on the ground there, as he did to sort of rank and file service members who were there also on the ground, asking them questions about what they were seeing. And that was exactly what Vice President-elect, actually, Joe Biden did in 2009 when President-elect Obama asked him to go to Afghanistan on something of a fact-finding mission. And one of the things that Biden reported back to President-elect Obama about the mission there was that when he asked troops on the ground there in Afghanistan what they believed their mission was, he got different answers from just about everyone there. And that has really been at the core of what the vice president, now the president, has thought in terms of the U.S. strategy on Afghanistan. Once we got bin Laden, which was, of course, the initial reason we went into Afghanistan to try to dismantle al-Qaeda, Biden has repeated this now as president. He sees that our national interests require us to pull out of Afghanistan to focus more broadly on a threat of terrorism that has metastasized beyond Afghanistan, but also to focus our efforts on Russia, China, these larger, more powerful authoritarian regimes. And that continues to be his belief up till this moment.
I want to bring in MSNBC military analyst and retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey. So, General McCaffrey, I want to get your sort of assessment of the current threat matrix here in Afghanistan. You heard President Biden say yesterday that U.S. forces and coalition troops, every day that they remain, they face a grave and growing threat.
Well, look, there's a legitimate debate about President Biden's decision to pull a plug on forces after he assumed office. It was an elective choice. Right now, I am utterly appalled at so-called responsible people arguing with Biden's decision to leave by 31 August, in accordance with apparently failed negotiations with the Taliban to extend it. One brigade on the ground, one runway, surrounded by mountains, your air power is 1,200 miles away, and you're 7,000 miles from home. We do not want a shooting confrontation and withdrawal from Afghanistan. We're not going to get all the Americans out. We're not going to get all the sensitive Afghan people that cooperated with us out. We're going to have to take other diplomatic means. But anyway, the bottom line is I'm looking at, Congressman McCall and others thinking, what are you doing? Do you want a one brigade fight on a runway in Kabul airport? This is nuts.
Yes, that is nuts. Let's be clear here, folks. President Biden has never changed his stance on Afghanistan. When he worked under President Obama, he was the vice president, and he did what President Obama wanted to do. He told us straight up, and we all agreed, the progressives inclusive, we want out of Afghanistan, and that's exactly what he did. Now, Donald Trump sort of set it up the wrong way. He modified it some, but we wanted out of Afghanistan. The people that are complaining understand what's going on right now. This is the mission of the military-industrial complex, trying to create some dissension so that no attempt is further made for us to get out of foreign outposts, because this is going to be a hit on the money tree that goes to these parasites who use our service people as props to enrich a few. Don't ever forget that that is what's really happening here. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.